welcome everyone. My name is Tichaona Mungazi and I'm the SHE coordinator at ESH.Africa, and I would like to welcome you to our webinar series. And this is episode 20 of the ESH launch webinar series, where we focus on environmental safety and health issues that are issues across Africa. So I would like to take this moment and thank those that have managed to join us today and those that have been supporting this initiative from the beginning. As you can see, this is episode 20 and we keep on moving with our sessions, and thanks to those that have been contributing and discussing with us, sharing a number of knowledge in as far as environmental health and safety is concerned, so as to improve it in our workplaces and in our communities. So welcome, and let's feel free to enjoy and to share our opinion in the subject that is going to be presented today. So without taking much of our time, our agenda today, we are going to look the main topic is on OSHE in Africa, and this is the part 2 of this subject. Part 1 was presented last week, which was also on the same topic, OSHE in Africa, but it was highlighting on the state of our continent in as far as occupational safety and health and environment is concerned. However, today we are going to look at why we are where we are. That was presented last year. Then after that discussion, we'll move on to make a few announcements towards the end. Then we'll take a group photo as usual. So for the smooth flowing of our session, I would like to highlight a few housekeeping rules. Make sure you mute your microphone when the speaker is speaking, so as to avoid background disruptions. And also, it's optional to turn your video on. And for any questions and comments, you can make use of the chat section. And also, for the speaker to notice you, you can make use of the reaction button to endorse or to raise your hands. So like I said, let's all sit back and relax and enjoy this session. And I am the one who's going to take us through the topic OSHE in Africa. So let's quickly jump into our discussion. For those that have been joining us in the previous sessions, we usually start off with a spotlight or a toolbox, but today it's quite different. We are jumping into the main session, as I am the one who is going to present on that. So like I said, this is our subject today. Our topic of discussion today is OSHE in Africa, and this is the part 2 of that topic. The part 1 that was presented last week was highlighting on the state of the continent, highlighting the figures and the numbers of where we are in terms of occupational health and safety and environmental management as a continent. So today we are going to deep dive into look to the reasons why we are where we are as Africa. So we are going to look at the challenges and the opportunities that are there for Africa in as far as OSHE is concerned. So since this is the part 2, I would just like to make a recap on what was presented last week. So these are the numbers that were presented, and the source of those statistics is highlighted there. So it is estimated that there are 59,000 work-related fatalities in Africa, and that is 4.3% of the workforce population is dying annually in Africa. And is dying in Africa, and also have 4 million non-fatal accidents that are occurring. And in Africa, less than 10% of the workforce have access to occupational health and occupational health and safety services. So we are saying in Africa, the risk of getting ill, the risk of dying because of work-related hazards is 10 to 20 times higher than in developed countries. And also from that document, it was highlighted that 3.4 of all fatalities come from the transport sector, from the agriculture sector, from the construction sector, and the mining sector. So we can it's fair to say that these are the stubborn 4 sectors in Africa that are leading to the OHS issues that we are facing. And it's fair to say that these are what is bringing revenue in Africa in as far as the economy is concerned. So these numbers, they were challenged that were highlighted also last week to back up the numbers that were given. So the challenge is why Africa is failing to maintain good standards of occupational safety and health and environmental management. One of them was highlighted as competing priorities. That is, political aspects, economic aspects, and social aspects are taking precedence over safety. And usually in Africa, it's fair to say that these aspects, they are working in silos where the political party is doing their things. However, whatever they do tends to affect the economical part. The economy is, the industries, they are doing their own thing. The community is doing their own thing, which makes it quite difficult for Africa to work together and bring about the highest standards of occupational health and safety. So another challenge that was highlighted is lack of recognition of OSHE as a crucial cog in national development. So, and another challenge is underperforming economies. Like I said, Africa is struggling economically. We are still termed a low income or middle income countries that are in Africa. So that being said, whenever in our industry, in our work setups, profit tends to take precedence over safety, the way whereby companies will focus more on production rather than on safety, which is not the case, because we encourage safety to take priority over everything. So, and another challenge that was highlighted is the proliferation of the informal sector, especially during these COVID-19 times. We have seen the economy declining, and a lot of people have lost their informal jobs. So they've resorted to these informal type of work, whereby we have a lot of vendors. People are now jumping into small scale industries that are not monitored or that are not regulated. People are now into artisanal mining, which is not also regulated. So those are some of the challenges that we have in Africa. And like I said, the rise of the small and medium enterprise is another challenge, because these are not regulated. These are not, most of them are not considered as formal. And there's a lack of OSHE research, whereby in Africa there is limited or less OSHE data for monitoring and evaluation. And this is one of the challenges that we are going to expand on to see why were the root causes of this challenge. And another challenge is the educational curriculum not addressing OSHE matters, where we are saying most people are introduced into the safety matters or into the safety issues at their entry level when they leave college or when they are joining the industry. That's when they start to hear about occupational health and safety issues. And it's fair to say that even now, if you go into some of the industry, there are certain people who are not aware about safety, about their health, where you can ask a person why they are wearing a hard hat. So it's fun to say that one can actually tell you that it's part of my uniform. As PPE, they don't even know the reason why they are wearing those hard hats, because the safety issues were introduced to them when they were already adults, and it's quite difficult for someone to grasp things when they are fully grown, where you grow up taking all sorts of risks. Now when you're in a workplace, you are now being told, do this way, do this way, which is quite a challenge. And this is where we need to encourage the education curriculum to address these OSHE matters at a lower age, at a lower level. Just like we do with PPE, those things are introduced to children at the lower level, so that when they grow, it will grow with them, it will grow within them. And another challenge that was highlighted is the regulatory and enforcement institutions. They are not sufficiently equipped to deal with these OHS issues. And I like to believe that in some of the countries, they don't have these institutions whereby OSHE issues, they are administered by the Ministry of Labor or the Ministry of Health, depending with the countries. But in other countries like Zimbabwe, we have a regulatory institution that administers OSHE issues. However, those are the institutions, they are not sufficiently equipped to deal with some of these issues, which is making it difficult for Africa to maintain their occupational health and safety standards. at any level. So like I said, this is an interactive discussion. I have to be the one speaking only. So whenever there is a question, whenever there is a comment, you may feel free to raise your hand. You may feel free to ask questions as we proceed with our discussion. I would like to be more like a facilitator rather than a presenter. So you are all free to comment. Thank you. So like I said, today, one of the challenges that I highlighted is on this slide was lack of OSHE research. This challenge, and we don't have enough OSHE data to monitor and evaluate our OSHE in Africa as a continent. So I'm going to deep dive into that challenge and see what are the root causes and what are the opportunities that can be there and what can be done. So that is my main focus on today, the challenges and opportunities for OSHE research in Africa. So to define OSHE research, we are saying OSHE research is the scientific study of the interaction between work, health, safety, and the environment. When we are doing OSHE research, we want to see how our work is interfering with our well-being, how our work is interfering with our wellness, how our work is interfering with the ecosystem. So as to look at the proper controls to implement so that there will be a balanced interaction between these issues. So OSHE research is a multidisciplinary and it covers a range of study areas, and these are not limited to the one listed, but some of the research study areas include occupational disease epidemiology, where we are looking at the public health of our workers, public health of our community, exposure assessment and management, issues to do with noise, issues to do with heat, toxicology and hygiene, hazard identification and risk assessment, as well as the control, psychosocial risk management, mental health issues at our workplace, in our communities. And we also, some of the study areas include the evaluation of OSHE intervention and the economics of OSHE. So this is how we define OSHE research. And why are we concerned about this research? Why are we advocating for research in terms of OSHE in Africa? So the statistics that have been published by ILO estimated that every year over 2.3 million people worldwide die due to occupational injuries and work-related diseases. And these statistics, they are quite alarming, and in developing countries, which are most of the African countries, the risks that foster ill health are estimated to be 10 to 20 times higher than in developed countries. That is according to WHO. So you can see that as Africa, we are way behind, and it is estimated that our risks of getting ill health at our workplaces is 10 to 20 times. And bear with me, this is just an estimate, because in Africa, we are saying there's limited data to make such inferences. So these are just estimated. The number might be bigger than we are seeing, because there's less research, there's less data that has been compiled to make such conclusions. So we are saying, why is this so? Because in Africa, there are production changes that are taking place, and these have led to new occupational risks, and which are poorly monitored or reported. One of the challenges that are highlighted that is making occupational health and safety and environmental management in Africa to be difficult to monitor or maintain is because of the proliferation of informal sector. So with these changes, it's bringing new occupational risks, it's bringing new hazards, it's bringing new other bunch of issues, and these issues are poorly monitored and they are poorly reported. Because these are informal sectors, they are not registered, they are not obliged to measure certain aspects, they are not obliged to submit certain statistics. So it makes it quite difficult in Africa for us to monitor and evaluate our performance in terms of OSHE. So this is why research is very important, because it is one of the best components for collecting data, which can then be analyzed and make presentations to address issues that you may want to address. So, ladies and gentlemen, research is a very important component that we need in Africa. So we really need to understand understand our ocean Africa. And the purpose of this research, it is done to describe certain issues. It is done to describe what is happening. It is also done to explain why certain behaviors are there. We are looking for instance, why there is negative or why there is poor safety behavior at workplace. It is also research is also used to evaluate certain issues, to evaluate certain performance, why they are successful or why they are unsuccessful. And it is also used to compare, correlate, and with the data collected, you can actually make prediction and anticipate what the future might be like. And that's where you can get the controls of what you want. This is why research is very important. And this is why we really need to understand Ocean Africa. And one of the ways to do that is through research. So we are saying when we collect the data, when we do research, with all the data that we collect, there is then need to manipulate it, there is then need to analyze it, and then present it to the relevant stakeholders so that you get the buy-in or in their commitment. And one of the greatest influential stakeholder in Africa is the political leaders. So like I said, when I presented one of the challenges why Africa is failing in terms of OSHE, one of that is why we're competing priorities, whereby politics is taking precedence over everything. So once you get the buy-in from those political leaders, it then makes it quite easier for OSHE to be implemented in Africa and for standards to be followed. So before I move into the associated challenges for research, I would like to highlight some of the data that is very important that we need to research, that we need to collect, manipulate, analyze, and present. And most companies, I would like to, it's fair that most companies, they collect lagging indicators, they have leading indicators, LTIs, all those. And also with the Ministry of Health, they also collect, they do epidemiology studies on and they have data such as incidence rates, prevalence rates. But with this data that is being measured, is it really is it really presented to the relevant stakeholders, or is just data that is collected? Like for instance, the health department, they collect it with the to address the health issues of the public. But for the industry, we are saying the industry is not looked at. That is to say, the epidemiology in our workplaces is not being studied. So those are that is some of the data that we really need to collect. I'll give an example. When we had a session where we were talking about vaccination, or not vaccinate or vaccinate as a spotlight, we had participants asking how they can convince their superiors to take in the idea of vaccination, what they can do. And this is where research becomes very important, where those measurables becomes very important, because once you collect the data and you present it you present the numbers to your superiors, it's quite difficult for them it becomes easy for them to picture what you are saying because of the numbers that you have. That is to say, to convince them in as far as vaccination is concerned, you would have to present the number of deaths of those that have been vaccinated compared to those that are not vaccinated. And with that, you can make your statement. So research is very important, as it brings data that we can be presented to anyone to get the buy-in of what you would want to convince people. So some of the challenges that are associated with research in Africa is insufficient number of OSHE experts in our continent. And in Africa also, it's fair to say that we have very few OSHE research centers in Africa, and most of our research centers, they are academic institutions. That's most of what are defined as research centers in Africa. That's where most of the OSHE research you can get it. And we also have poor research knowledge in as far as OSHE is concerned, and the available research that have been done is never translated into practice. And this one, I think everyone can agree with me. For you to graduate, be it your diploma, be it your degree, be it your master's, be it your PhD, you have to do a dissertation. And I would like to think that all the professionals that are here, one way or another, we have done a dissertation, we have made a research on a certain problem, and we have come up with certain data and presented our solutions. However, all those dissertations, most of them have ended up just being in cabinets. Nothing have been done with what the outcomes that have come from those researches, which is one of the challenges that we are having in Africa. And we also have unavailable documentation of OSHE experts within the region, which is making collaboration difficult. Why we all work in silos. We have people that we can actually define as gurus in as far as OSHE is concerned, but those people are not documented, those people are not recognized, which makes it very difficult to make collaborations. However, thanks to esh.africa, we are trying to deal with that challenge, where we are bringing together experts, professionals to discuss about these issues, and I think it will help one way or another. And another challenge why research is lacking in Africa, why we don't have enough data in Africa, is because there is insufficient OSHE research funding in the continent. Like I highlighted, when we do our dissertations, there are certain outcomes that come, there are certain recommendations that are given. And for most of the recommendations to be implemented or to be actioned, there is need for funding. Some of them become some of them will remain in the cabinets because the researcher have no funding to proceed with their research or with their outcomes. That's why we find most of the dissertations will remain in cabinets. The further that they can get is they may be published for academic purpose, but to be actioned out and the recommendations being implemented, it's quite rare in Africa. And OSHE is not also yet seen as a specialty in the African institutions, which makes it specialization difficulty in most of the African countries. So what is the fallout of these challenges? Like I said, if we don't research, if we don't collect data, we won't have the basis to present certain issues. We won't have the basis to encourage or to mobilize certain behaviors. So this then allows the outsiders, people that are not from the continent of Africa, to come into our African countries. They do their researches with enough resources, with enough support. They go to their countries, they make the analysis that they want, and they will present and they will tell the story the way they want, because they are the ones that have collected the data. But if we do that internally, at regional level, at industrial level, we will then analyze the data, we will then manage the data, and we will present it the way we see fit and the way it is, rather than to allow outsiders to tell the African stories the way they see it in as far as OSHE is concerned. So that is the fallout of all these challenges that I presented. So we are saying, if we are not able to find out the problems through research, because research mostly it's about fact finding, it's about data collection. So if we are not able to find out the problems, we won't be able to devise the solution. And there's another saying that says, if you can't measure it, you won't control it. So research becomes a very key component. And with the situation that we have, the uniqueness of our workforce in Africa, whereby 86%, that is according to IMF, the International Monetary Fund, whereby 86% of the workforce is in the informal sector. And like I said, that the informal sector is not monitored. They are not obliged to report their performance in as far as OSHE is concerned. So report, that's where research comes in, whereby individual people, organization, institutions can then move into the community, can then move into the informal sector and make research and collect data. Then it is presented and published to everyone so that everyone can have a picture of what is happening, and controls can be what is the word? And controls can be suggested. So we are saying with that, if we are not able to find out these problems, we won't be able to devise the solution. So, ladies and gentlemen, we need to promote research in Africa. And what are the benefits of that? The benefits is that research will help us understand regional OSHE issues in Africa and finding solutions. Right now, even with the formal sector, we can see that they are in different countries, that is depending with the country. I will give reference of Zimbabwe, that is where I am. You can see that we have regulatory bodies that administrate all OSHE issues, that administrate these issues in Zimbabwe. And with the formal companies that are registered to those institutions, they are obliged to submit certain data, that is fatal incidents. They are obliged to submit those to the regulatory institutions. The other serious issues, disabilities, but there is certain data that they don't submit, which is quite relevant for the analysis and for fact finding and for finding solutions, which include near misses, other small incidents that occurs in those workplaces. They are not submitted to the regulated bodies. So with research, we can actually get those data. People can move in companies, make observations, make interviews, questionnaires, collect data, and this that data will then be managed, analyzed, manipulated, and presented. Then we will understand the regional OSHE issues, or the be it at industrial level, at community level. We then understand the issues. Even right now, if you go on the ILO page, you can find out that all the countries are listed there, because once the information is submitted to the regulated body will then analyze it and submit it to ILO. But we can find out that in some of the countries, you won't find the data on ILO. That is because there is no one who is submitting the data, because this data is not being collected, and it makes it quite difficult to understand what are our issues in Africa, and we won't find the solutions for those. That is, we will continue to lag behind if we don't understand what is our situation in Africa. So research becomes a very key component. And also another benefit is that it improves work processes, work conditions, and any workers' health outcomes, as well as our interaction with the ecosystems. If we go around where there is a high rate of artisanal mining, if you go to their operation, if you see the way those guys operate, it's quite very, very risky. That is the riskiest thing that I have ever seen. So if we don't do these researches, if we don't collect the data, we won't have a basis to suggest improvements for those people, for their work processes, for the informal sector. So we really need to make research, collect data, so that it will help us improve the work processes, the work conditions of the workers, be it the artisanal miners, be it other informal sectors. And also another benefit for OSHE research is that it will make us, like I said, it will make us own our stories and tell it to the world in the right context, using the right data and in the appropriate manner, rather than waiting for outsiders to come and collect data and tell our story the way they like it. So if we do our own research as Africans, at individual level, at a community level, we publish our data, we can then tell our story in the right context, in the most appropriate manner. And another benefit is that research can open new areas of expertise. With research, you can find other opportunities. It can create new studies or new sets of employments and improvement and improved workplace health outcomes. Like I said, some of the dissertations that they are brilliant dissertations that were done by people, but most of them have ended up in the cabinet, or most of them have just got the chance, the fortunate of being published on our platforms such as ResearchGate, but that is for academic purposes. But to then take up the recommendations that were started from there and escalate them or implement them or action them, there is lack of funding. But once there is funding, you can see that once you start or proceeding with a certain research, it can then create new areas of expertise. It can create new sets of employments. So it's it's another benefit that can come if research is addressed in Africa. And another benefit is it can bring forth the breakthroughs in our ability to manage contextual issues in African workplace health, safety, and environmental issues. When you do research, like I say, one of the purposes for research is to predict. With the data collected, you can actually anticipate what can happen in the future. You can actually project what can happen in the future. So that being said, it can bring about breakthroughs. You can start seeing the bigger picture. You can start seeing what's ahead, and you too give us ability to manage those issues and find improving solutions in as far as health and safety as well as environmental issues are concerned. And this trend also can help us develop interest in our new entrants and for new entrants and into the field of OSHE and the opportunity to get trained. That is, it can encourage other people to join this career because of what they will be seeing that will be done because of research. And with research, focus will only be on formal workforce. It will then be also, it can also then address other issues surrounding informal work structures. As I said, there is a high proliferation of informal sector in Africa, and the statistics are saying 80% of the workforce that is in Africa is in the informal sector, and 90% of the businesses, of the enterprises that are in Africa, they are informal. So you can see that in as much as we get the data from the regulated body, there is something that is lacking because there is a group of people that is not being recognized in as far as OSHE is concerned. So with research, our focus will then be decentralized. We'll then jump into looking into the informal sector, collect the data around that sector, and the data can be analyzed and presented. And another benefit is that OSHE in Africa, OSHE Research in Africa will further improve our publication standards and increase the number of research and the peer review of journals that we have in Africa. And these will give collaboration. People won't be working in silos. That's where the expertise can be identified because of the research. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are saying, like the last point that I highlighted is that research will create opportunities for information sharing, like what we are trying to foster with this esh.africa webinar session. And with that, it can create subordination. People can start working together. There will be teamwork. There will be inspiration, people inspiring one another to do certain things. Support is another benefit that comes with it. Trust, people start meeting other people, networking. And another benefit is whenever you're stuck, you can also get assistance from your peers, and you can exchange and share information. So these are the opportunities that will come from the collaboration that can be brought about because of OSHE Research. So with all these that I have highlighted, the challenges, the benefits, what can we do as African? That is the main question, and that is the ultimate issue that we needs to be addressed. Like I say, research, it's not a new thing in Africa. We do it in during our undergraduates, postgraduates, at PhD, everyone does research, but those research end up being stuck in the cabinets, and that will be all. But we really need to action out the recommendations that come. So with the challenges that I have highlighted, with the benefit that comes with research, what can be done to address the lacking of research in Africa, the lack of data in Africa. So I have a few suggestions, and I'll be welcome to any other suggestions from our audience, since I said this is an interactive discussion, and I would like to hear our other people's opinions in as far as research is concerned in Africa. So one of the things that can be done is for organizations we are saying organizations who should submit all OSHE data to the designated regulatory authorities. That is to say, at industry level, the data that we are submitting to our regulatory authorities is not adequate enough to make certain claims, to make certain conclusions, or to make certain hypotheses. So it's very important that we submit all the data, all the indicators that we measure in our workplace, all the performance indicators that we measure in our workplace, in as far as OSHE is concerned. Let's ensure that it is submitted to the regulatory authorities so that the data can be analyzed and can be presented to make certain claims and to make certain suggestions. And another suggestion, another thing, the recommendation that can be done is the need to establish sub-regional OSHE collaboration centers. Like I said, one of the challenges that was presented is the lack of collaboration centers in Africa, and it's quite difficult to create one collaboration centers for all 54 countries in Africa. So one recommendation that is there is to make these collaboration centers regional, where there is a collaboration center in West Africa, collaboration center in East Africa, collaboration center in Central Africa, where all the data is collected, submitted, analysis is made, then can be consolidated later on to get the picture of the whole continent. So there's need to establish these sub-regional OSHE collaboration centers and agencies that will analyze data. And also profiling of regional experts in OSHE research. Well, in Africa, we lack expertise. We know there are gurus in as far as OSHE is concerned, but those people are not recognized like other fields or like other industries. So we really need to profile all these regional experts and create a platform for collaboration so that we can get solutions for any OSHE issues that will become coming from the data collected through research. And one of the recommendations is as Africans, as leaders, like I said, there is need for political buy-in to get African leaders committed with these issues. And with that, you can see they can be annual budgeted for provisions for OSHE research, because when the leaders support it, it will it can be escalated further. So if we get the political buy-in, we can then get annual budgetary provisions for this OSHE research, and we can collect data, monitor it, and evaluate our performance in as far as OSHE is concerned. And another recommendation is the inclusion of research and data management in courses in the undergraduate programs across African universities, and the transfer of that into practice. That is the ultimate point. Of course, in most institutions, they have these courses in their graduates, and we apply the knowledge gained for our dissertation researches, but then to take up all the knowledge, the data management knowledge, how to analyze data, how to manipulate, how to present it. It's not really done in practice. It all ends up with compiling a paper or compiling a thesis, but to put in practice the recommendation or the findings from the research, it's quite rare in Africa, and we recommend that these things need to be actioned out. And there's need for continuous advocacy for the independence of the field of occupational health. Right now, as it is occupational health at global stage, it's being administered. It's a joint administration between WHO and ILO. WHO is the administrator of the public health, and ILO is the administrator of labor issues. And those are the ones that are overseeing occupational health, OSHE issues in Africa jointly. But we are saying there's need also for continuous advocacy of an independent field or administrator of OSHE in Africa, so that that organization will mainly focus on OSHE issues, presenting data, making publications, and giving solutions, bringing people together, so that we can address issues in as far as OSHE is concerned, and implement the solution that can help us maintain and promote positive OSHE performance in Africa. So with that, we are saying this will birth more researches in OSHE, because we would have an organization that is looking to support that. We are not saying the ILO, the WHO is doing a big job, but they are doing a great job, but we really need an independent organization that will administrate OSHE issues in Africa. And the suggested regional OSHE collaboration that I highlighted, these ones. Once we get the collaboration centers, we can now manage the data. We can collect data in our regions, analyze it and publish it. Then we can also consolidate to get the picture of the whole continent, what's happening at a continental level. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, the main challenge that was highlighted last year, I think I did mention it during the recap, is the competing priorities whereby politics, economy, and social aspects are taking precedence over OSHE issues. However, that is the challenge we have, where we are saying due to the inadequate attention by the community, which is those are the administrator of social aspects, the industry, the administrator of our economy, and the government, the administrator of politics. The inadequate attention from them is bringing a lot of challenges in as far as OSHE is concerned. So once those three integrate, the community, the industry, and the government, if they integrate and work together, it can bring about progress in OSHE, and we can get resilient systems. We can implement solutions to maintain positive OSHE performance in Africa. And I would like to say this brings me to the end of my session, and I'm opening this I'm giving this chance to the floor if there are any comments or any questions in as far as OSHE in Africa is concerned, according to what I presented. I'm giving this chance to our audience. Anyone with a different opinion on anything that was highlighted? Okay, for those that have just joined us or came in late, our topic of discussion today is OSHE in Africa, and this is the part 2 of that discussion. The part 1 was presented last week, where where the main presentation there was the state of the continent, where the numbers, the facts, and the figures were highlighted in as far as OSHE is concerned in Africa to give a picture of where we are as Africa. And today, with this party too, I've taken the opportunity to then deep dive into the reasons why we are where we are as Africa, as it was presented last week. And I took one of the challenges and deep dive to see what are the challenges that are causing that are promoting it, and what are the opportunities that are there. That was our presentation today. And the challenge that I was looking on is the lack of OSHE research in Africa, which it brings about inadequate data for monitoring and evaluation of our OSHE performance. That was my presentation. So I'm opening this moment for questions, comments, and any discussions from our audience and from our participants. Feel free to comment or okay, let me check our chat section. Okay, I can see there is a hand from Presta Gunduron. Presta, you can come up. I don't know if I pronounced the surname well. You can take the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Most of the things that you're doing, I can say all of the things that you're saying, they are really correct. Africa, we really have to invest more in the healthy and safety of employees at workplace. Yeah. And it is actually affected by the informal sector, as you are saying, that there are no jobs in Africa, and most of the people are working in the informal sector, where the healthy and the safety of the people is being jeopardized. You can see that usually in the informal sector in Zimbabwe, in Mbare, you will never find a health and safety officer. You find a person grinding without a grinding disc. You see a person grinding without adequate PPE. Also, on another sector, in Africa, I feel that we are dwelling more on giving employees PPE and giving employees training. But in as much as you can see in a hierarchy of control, if you can actually put engineering controls, there's need for us to have more innovations in as much as the safety of people, of employees is concerned. You get it? We need to move away from the culture of training people and just giving people PPE. We need to have more innovations which can actually improve safety in workplace. That's what I actually believe in Africa we have to do. For example, you see the recent technologies that China was actually having in the COVID era. It can actually help us more in having less accidents and ill health in workplaces. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Presta. Thank you for that contribution. It's very true what you said. In most Africa, in most industries, the formal and the informal ones, what we are mainly focusing in as far as safety and health is concerned at our workplace is the provision of PPE. And even with the PPE, like I say, like I highlighted, in some industries, if you can ask the employees why they are wearing the PPE, some will tell you that is my work uniform. They don't really know why they are wearing that PPE. And as you highlighted, PPE is our last resort on the hierarchy of controls. They need to implement the effective one that reduces the exposure, that reduces the hazards. So I would like to say this. I don't have quite scientific evidence on that, but I would like to think it's quite difficult for us then to, as ship professionals, to get the buy-in and the commitment of our management if we don't have adequate data to present to them. That is where research becomes most important, where you then look at the incidents that the companies are having and you then present it to the management or the superiors to say, this is why we are having these incidents. We are not putting engineering controls. We are not substituting our hazards. We are not eliminating our hazards. We are only focusing on giving employees employees PPE and sending them into risk task or risk for jobs. So it's very true what you said, and I would like to take that as another recommendation. What can be done to improve OSHE in Africa? Thank you, Mr. Presta. Is there anyone else with a comment from our audience who may want to add on to this presentation, this discussion? OSHE in Africa, the challenges and the opportunities. I know everyone has a different opinion. We have been exposed to different industries. We have seen a lot of issues. And with any issue a human being can see, there can be a solution. So welcome every opinion from our audience. Feel free to say anything. Okay, I guess everyone is well acquainted with what I presented. So let me quickly check my chat section and see if there is anything there. Okay, there's nothing. Okay, I think everyone is happy with what we presented, but let's action out everything that has been said here. We need to implement all the recommendations so that this will have impact in Africa, so that all these sessions will have something that they are bringing in as far as OSHE is concerned in Africa. Thank you, everyone. And thank you for joining in, and thank you for listening. Like I said, towards the end, we are going to make a few announcements, but today we don't have so many. However, for those that are just joining us today, we have changed our times. Most of us used to know these sessions being hosted at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. On the Central African time, but we have shifted to accommodate all our participants in Africa. So these are displayed there. These are the new times, where the Greenwich Mean Time it's 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. For the West Africa time, it's 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. For the Central Africa time, we shifted to 10 a.m. From 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And for the East Africa time, it will be 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. These sessions, as you all know, they are hosted every Friday, and we are happy to say that in the previous weeks we have published our October issue, our October magazine entitled Africa's Quest for Sustainable Development Goal. And you can get the links from all our social media platforms, or you can contact us on these numbers that are displayed on the screen, or visit our website, www.esh.africa, where you can download these magazines or read them electronically online. And for those that may want to contribute or may want to support this initiative, you are welcome. Maybe you have a topic that you want to address in the context of ESH, you can come and communicate with us on these numbers or on our social media platforms. And those that may want to support our magazines with articles, you are also welcome to communicate with us so that we can see how we can proceed further. And from our chat section, we have given you the links to download the magazine and our social media platform. And don't forget to follow, subscribe, and join our WhatsApp group. And that is that for today. And I would like to thank you and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining our session. But as usual, I'm taking this opportunity to ask everyone to turn on our video so that we take a group photo as we usually do. So at this moment, I would like to encourage everyone to turn on your video so that we can take a group photo. Thank you. I think we have taken our photo. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm giving this moment for us to introduce ourselves to just mingle for just 5 minutes before we close the session. This is the end of our session, and thank you. And I would like to believe everyone is a takeaway point from what was discussed in here today. Thank you.